So we're gonna understand the basis of what K-guard is, okay? How do we get in K-guard? A lot of different ways. Obviously, closed guard is one, okay? You can do it from standing, okay? You can do it from passing. There's a lot of entries, okay? We are just working from guard, all right? So that way we can understand the basics of how it's played. Then we'll go over some dilemmas. I'll show you 2 attacks that we did on Tuesday. We'll review it, and then we'll go over the new stuff, all right? So basically, K-guard is simply, I'm gonna pick a side, all right? My close proximity limbs will be together, meaning this knee will come down and touch the mat. This foot will capture the hip. The same side hand is gonna come inside and capture under that knee pit, all right? You can do this, but even though it's a very strong grip, unless he's trying to sprawl, it's not really necessary because I can hold him in there pretty good already. And I'd rather use this hand, my secondary hand, more for pulling and pushing to control my opponent, all right? Back leg, secondary leg comes up. I want my foot, my toes to curl to the sky and capture the back of his shoulder. This knee can be up or down a little bit, doesn't really matter. I just don't want things collapsed. This is a very comfortable position. It's easy to get to, but you get smashed, okay? So we have to use this secondary hand to sometimes pry him up, do whatever, and get into that position. This is a K-guard position. Shin is vertical, foot is capturing his hip, knee is touching the mat, hand is inside the elbow, knee pit, leg is across the shoulder or the chest area, and I'm using my toes or my foot as a hook, all right? Capture the back of the arm, capture the inside of the arm, whatever, grab the head, okay? We looked at how to necessarily get into that. Well, I mean, they could be postured up and you could get into it, okay? The problem is his legs will be tight, so it'll be hard to get my hand on the inside, all right? So maybe doing a 2-on-1, okay, and bringing him in just like when you break guard. If I do that, I'm gonna try to raise my hips up onto his thighs, all right? Then squeeze my knees and pull him down, and I'm gonna pull him at whatever opposite angle of the side I wanna attack. If I'm gonna invert to that side, I'm gonna pull him to this side, all right? So I pull over, hand comes into the armpit, and then I can shoot, boom, up into that position. See how my knee's on this outside part? That is also part of it. It is not a big deal. He may also react and come right back. And then now we are back to where I was at earlier. All right? So that is the way we got into it. You can get into it from, say, failed flower sweeps and pendulum sweeps, even using the gi. It doesn't change, all right? It's just a configuration of the angles of my body. That's all it is, all right? Why would you use this? Well, it's simply up to you. Maybe you're just not good in guard. Maybe he's breaking your guard, all right? And so if that begins to happen and you start pulling him down and start attacking, you feel more comfortable pulling this type of action than simply letting someone break your guard and pass, okay? So you may be in guard, and if you're not good at it, you may want to move to K-guard. You are good at it, and they're passing, and you can move to K-guard. It's better than just simply laying here and saying, oh, I lost. I can't do it. They broke, okay? Right. So what we looked at was breaking them down, coming over, shooting, and getting to this position right here. We looked at my opponent hitting a cross-face deep, kind of creating a pressure type of style pass, all right? And hitting a cross face so that way he could eventually maybe get his shoulder to my face and completely crush this knee down and get a good pass in. What we looked at doing was this hand was preventing me from utilizing this side of his body, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my head and I'm gonna turn it towards his knees. Now I'm not doing this. My head is gonna follow my pelvis. So my spine moves together, okay? Remember twisters, all right? In 10th Planet, when twisters came out, the reason why they worked was simply because we're bending the spine separate directions. I don't want to bend my spine separate directions. So I'm gonna move with my head, and I'm gonna drive my knee into his neck, and I'm gonna pummel my leg out. Now this allows me to stay in control depending on what he does. So if I do that, boom, I catch, holding onto his arm, I spin around, capture, and I'll lock up my triangle. Nothing fancy, simple triangle, we all know it. But it's how do we get to it is what counts. I'm in K-guard. I'm dealing with this issue. I'm starting to get cross-face. He can even be pretty low. That's perfectly fine, all right? Actually, the lower he is, the better it's gonna be for me. I turn, pummel my leg out, and it hits his neck instantly. I turn, I'm pulling his arm so it helps me pull. I'm not really trying to get his arm across. I'm just trying to get my body across. Boom, and I capture, okay? The other one we looked at is we are now, nope, not yet, here. Same thing, I turned, I'm like this, I turn, my leg pummels, except instead of cutting back across, I'm gonna stay and really, now my K-guard hook becomes very in play. I'm gonna pull myself, not him towards me, I'm pulling me towards this. That allows my thigh to stay inside that neck. I can shoot my hips up and then capture the reverse triangle. You're probably gonna catch it right here, not here. I'm gonna take my knee and squeeze my knees together for the reverse triangle. You can also come out now and start attacking the arm, all right? That's what we worked on Tuesday, okay? So that's what we're gonna go over now, all right? That is our review. I'm just gonna set the timer, and we're gonna play around with it, okay? He was here, oh, Joe wasn't here, all right? We're gonna move around with a little bit, make sure everyone understands, and then we're gonna move on to the next series, okay?